Good morning. This is English 7 for Monday, March the 30th. Now, I want to back up just for a minute and just take a second to review. Let's talk about the things that we've learned this year, okay? First, we have nouns. What are the jobs of a noun? A noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. What can a noun be? Well, a noun can be our subject, it can be the direct object, the indirect object, or the predicate nominative. It can be the object of a preposition or an appositive, okay? So a noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. What does it do in our sentence? Well, it acts like the subject, the who or what the subject is about, the direct object, the thing that the verb is using, the indirect object. Remember, the indirect objects come between the subject, become between the verb and the direct object. Sorry, that. A noun can be a predicate nominative. I can say the noun equals the predicate nominative. Mrs. Turner can't talk today. If it's a linking verb, a noun it will be the object of my preposition, and a noun can be my appositive. Of course, we know that a verb is a word of action. There are two types of verbs. They are linking verbs. Linking verbs, if you remember, they are am, is, are, was, were, be, being, and been. And then you have your taste, feel, smell, sound, seem, okay, all of those. And then we have action. Action verbs are just what they say. They're words that we act on. Jump, kick, throw, okay? Then we talked about pronouns. Pronouns are words like he, she, it, we, they, each, every. These are words that take the place of a noun. Okay, so instead of saying Abel did his homework, we would say he did his homework. He is a pronoun. What are the jobs of a pronoun? The same as a subject, or same as a noun. They are the subjects, the direct objects, the indirect objects, the objects of a preposition, predicate nominatives, and appositives. Then we talked about adjectives. Adjectives describe a noun or a pronoun. And they answer the questions, which one, what kind, how much, how many, or whose. Then we talked about the ones that we're doing now, and that is an adverb. Okay, an adverb. I don't think you can see that word very well in there, but an adverb describes a verb most of the time, or it will describe an adjective, or it can describe another adverb. And it answers the questions: where, when, how often, to what extent, why, or under what condition. Now, today we're going to talk about adverbs in a different way. We've been finding them in a sentence. We've found the adverb phrases, and we've found adverb clauses. Remember, adverb phrases is a group of words that describe. Maybe if I say on the back table, that tells me where. That's an adverb phrase. If I say in the house, okay, or in 1812, okay. Now, so these are phrases. A clause, remember, has to have a subject and a verb, but it will not express a complete thought. If I say, because he sold the horse, he was able to give money to the missions. Because he sold the horse tells us why he was able to give, okay? That's an adverb clause because it has the verb he and sold, okay? Now, adverb clauses have to have a subject and a verb. Phrases just describe. The same is true of adjective phrases and adjective clauses. Now, let's look at these three words today. We have positive, comparative, and superlative. We've talked about this before. We talked about this with adjectives. A positive is simply a statement. If I say, he is tall, I'm making a statement. It's a fact. He's tall. Okay? But if I want to say that Leo is tall taller than Omar, okay? I'm making a comparison between Leo and Omar. I'm comparing two people, okay? And so I say that he is taller. Now, I might say that Frankie is the tallest person in the high school. I'm comparing Frankie to all of the people in the high school, okay? So that would be a superlative. He's superior, he's the biggest, he's the greatest, he's the quietest, whatever. Now, when we look at adverbs, most adverbs, as we already said, a lot of adverbs are going to end in ly. An adverb that is in the comparative or the superlative will use more and most, okay? For example, I might say, Vanya did her homework frantically. How did Vanya do the homework? She did it frantically. But Daisy did her homework more frantically than Vanya. More frantically because there are two of them. That is a comparative, Vanya and Daisy. Okay, so it was more frantically. Now, what if I was going to compare Lily to the whole class? Okay, then I would say Lily did her homework, or was the most frantically done, had the most frantically done homework. How was her homework done that was most frantically? Okay, now, most adverbs are going to use more and most. There are a few adverbs that are going to be comparative and superlative by using ER and EST. Here's a good way of knowing the difference. If a word is one syllable, okay, such as late, low, close, I would say he is close, she is closer. The baby is the closest to me, okay? Because I'm making a statement, he is close. She is closer. The baby is the closest, okay? Because I'm comparing the baby to everybody. The baby's the closest to me. Now, so if it's a one-syllable adverb, normally we add ER for comparative and EST for superlative. Remember, comparative means I'm talking about two, only two. Positive, I'm making a statement about one person or one thing. Comparative, I'm comparing two things. Superlative means I'm talking about three or more. If it's a one-syllable adverb, use ER to compare two things. Use EST to compare three or more. If the word is more than one syllable, most of the time you will use more for comparative and most for superlative. Now, of course, it's English, and we borrow words from all different languages all around the world, and so we always have some irregular verbs, okay? Look at your book on page 179. Look at rule number 3. A few adverbs are irregular in form. I'm just going to simply read through them. If you have, I am well, he is better, she is best. I ran well, she ran better, he ran the best. Okay, much for one person. If you're talking about more than one, if you're talking about two, we're going to say more. If you're talking about a group, we're going to say most. Badly becomes worse. I feel badly. How do I feel badly? But today I feel worse. And last week I felt the worst of everybody in my family. I don't know. Okay? Little becomes less or least. And far becomes farther and farthest. Okay? Let's look at our book. Number 1 in exercise A. In each blank, write the correct degree of the adverb in parentheses. Hebron lay blank to Shechem than Beersheba did. Okay, I'm going to compare Hebron to Shechem and comparing that to Beersheba. Okay, we're talking about two cities and their relationship to the one. So we're talking about two. So instead of close, we would say that it is closer. Hebron lay closer to Shechem than Beersheba did. Number 2, you did the mowing blank than the edging you did for me. Okay, so he's comparing how you mowed and how you did the edging. So we're comparing how many things? 2. So we would say you did the mowing better than the edging you did for me. The snail travels blank than the energetic ant. How many animals are we talking about? We're talking about an ant and a snail. We're talking about 2. So the snail travels, the word is slowly. So we're going to say what? More slowly than the energetic ant. Of all of the men in Congress, okay, now we're talking about a whole bunch of men that are in Congress. He acted, we want to use some form of courageously. He acted what? Most courageously. This plane flew blank than the helicopter did. Compare your plane and the helicopter. So it flew lower. The baby began crying. How? As he became more hungry. Okay, we're comparing the baby now to how the baby was. He was becoming what? More loudly. That sounds unusual to us. The baby began crying more loudly as he became more hungry. Okay, we would not, some of us are going to want to say the baby began crying louder. No, we had to use a form of loudly. Okay, so we're going to say he's more loudly. Polycarp was a martyr, okay? Polycarp died blank than his persecutors lived. We have to use the word nobly. Okay, so are we going to say noblier? Or are we going to say more nobly? He died more nobly. Polycarp, in case you don't know, is a martyr, someone that was crucified. He was killed, martyred for his faith. Solomon ruled blank of all of the kings of Israel. You're comparing Solomon to all of the kings of Israel. So he ruled how? Most wisely. The Samaritan acted blank than the other travelers. And remember this story, there was more than one other traveler. There were several. So he acted what? More kindly. Okay, the Samaritan acted more kindly than the other travelers did. Okay, tonight I want you to do page 179, exercise B. Write a sentence using an adverb. Adverb as indicated in parentheses. Make sure they modify the verb, the adjectives, and adverbs. Don't make them modify a noun. Make sure you didn't talk about the ball, but that you're talking about an adjective, an adverb, or the verb. You only have those 4 sentences for homework tonight. I will tell you that I'm going to ask you to put them online later. I'm not going to have you do it on today's list, but I am going to have you put them online. So please make sure you finish them. And then you have a writing assignment for creative writing under English Today. So make sure that is under your homework. And then you have a short quiz. Hope you had a good day today.